All right, guys, this is really, really important. We have had a huge blow to our First Amendment right to free speech on public property. People are now being arrested because judges don't like it. They're sending the cops now after Americans engaging in free speech. Big Rapids, Michigan. A former pastor will serve time in jail for a conviction of jury tampering after he was arrested and charged with a felony for handing out jury information pamphlets outside of a courthouse. Subversive. Dangerous. We just can't have that. Keith Wood wanted people to know about their rights on a jury, so he printed out the pamphlets from the Fully Informed Jury Association and began passing them out at his local courthouse. Now, guys, just to let you know, I put a new page, and I'll have a link in description to it about jury nullification. This is something that we all really need to know because jurors have more power than what they know. And of course, you know what, judges don't really want people to know that, which is why if you hand out pamphlets, they're the first ones to call the cops. And guess who the cops are going to do? They're going to do exactly what that judge says. But anyways, a little bit about jury nullification, okay? For those that don't know, jury nullification is the right for any juror to not only judge the facts of a case, okay, but also judge the validity of the law itself. So, if a jury feels that a defendant is facing an unjust charge, they have the right to rule in the defendant's favor, even if they are technically guilty under the court's standard. In other words, if they're technically guilty under the statute. Remember, most people are being tried for statute violations, not crimes. So, a little bit more about jury nullification. This is directly from their website. The primary function of the independent juror is not, as many think, to dispense punishment to fellow citizens accused of breaking various laws, but rather to protect fellow citizens from tyrannical abuses of power by the government. Interesting, isn't it? The Constitution guarantees you the right to trial by jury. This means that governments must bring its case before a jury of the people if government wants to deprive any person of life, liberty, or property. Jurors can say no to government tyranny by refusing to convict. And if they did that, and especially if it was a big case, because people knew their rights as a juror, we might actually make a change. This is really important stuff, guys. All right, anyway, Mr. Wood was charged with a 5-year felony for obstructing justice. That's right. Obstructing justice, and 1-year misdemeanor for jury tampering. This week in court, Wood was found guilty on the obstruction of justice charge and sentenced to 8 weekends in jail, plus 6 months of probation and additional fines. All right, now here what? Guys, he was actually tried in the exact same court that he was handing out the pamphlets. So I think the odds are pretty good that he's not going to get a fair trial and he's not going to get a fair judgment. I'm pretty positive of that. What he needs to do is to make sure that he appeals. He's got to get it out of the local court and into the federal courts, which he can do. Now, whether or not even the federal courts are going to do anything about this, I would even have to, I'd have to say 50-50 chance. This is their power structure. The judges love to tell the jury what they can look at and what they can't. Whereas the truth of the matter is, those jurors can look at whatever they want to. They don't have to follow the instructions of the judge. And most of the judges are in on the system anyways. You know, they're about making money for their city so they can get a raise. They're part of the political system. They have a standing to maintain. Guys, make sure to look in the links. I've got a link to the full complete story, okay? You know, it's right there in description. Really, you should read this whole story. It's something that you need to be made aware of. Because not only are we not being informed of our rights, we are being put in jail for our free speech and trying to inform others of our rights. Make sure to subscribe. John Masters. Real-life police encounters. Know your rights when dealing with the police.
I got it. You better get off. Hey.
Empower yourself by knowing the law. Own the Cops with John Masters.